بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم أما بعد. To continue in the study of تذكرة السامع والمتكلم of Ibn Jamaah rahimahullah, we've reached in the specific chapter that we're taking about the manners of the student in of himself, point number 10. And there's the last point of this chapter, or this specific section of the book. Here, rahimahullah, he says, point number 10, that he leaves off mixing with the people. That he leaves off mixing with the people. For leaving them off, or leaving the people off, mixing with them, is one of the greatest and most important that which be fitting for the student of knowledge. Especially for those who are not from the people of knowledge, mixing with those who are not from the people of knowledge, or those who are from those who pay concern to knowledge. Specifically the one who plays a lot, and he does not, and وَقَلَّتْ فِكْرَتُهُ, and he is lesser in his mind or in his opinion or studying. For indeed the character can get stolen or has an effect, and the calamity of mixing will put to waste and put to loss a person's lifetime without any benefit. And the money being lost or honor can be lost as well if you mix with someone who is not deserving of. And similarly, what's worse than that is one can lose his religion if he mixes with one who is not befitting to mix with. So here the author rahimahullah mentions that from the way of his sunnah knowledge that he leaves off mixing with the people too much. That he does not mix with them unless there's a benefit for him, as we will come to mention. There's some poetry mentioned by the student Ibn Hazm al-Humaydi. He says, لِقَاءُ النَّاسِ لَيْسِ يُفِيدُ شَيْئًا سِوَى الْإِكْثَارِ مِنْ قِيلَ وَقَالَ. He said that mixing or meeting with the people does not benefit anything other than he said and she said. فَأَقْلِلْ مِنْ لِقَاءِ النَّاسِ إِلَّا. So I don't mix with the people except لِأَخْذِ الْعِلْمِ أَوْ إِصْلَاحِ حَالِ, to take knowledge from them or to correct an affair. Similarly, a person's character can be affected with those you mix with. And this is well known, that the one you mix with, you'll be affected by his character, and perhaps he may lead you to changing your good attributes and your good characteristics. And perhaps you may not even realize, except that you have changed and became like the one you mix with. Perhaps you may say, I will change his affair and I will correct him, and he'll become a student of knowledge or become serious in regards to his religion, and whatever it may be, and then slowly realize that you're becoming weak yourself, and you are becoming more like the one you mix with. And for that reason, the Prophet said, الرَّجُلْ عَلَى دِينِ خَلِيلٍ, the man is upon the religion of his friend. So it's important that one chooses his friendship and his companionship properly, so that he mixes with those who either benefit him or he benefits them. And there's no harm that occurs from them, and no harm that occurs from him to them. So he says that which is befitting for a student knowledge, that he does not mix except with the one who benefits him, or that he benefits from him. Except for the one who benefits him, or he will benefit from him. For that which was reported from the Prophet ﷺ, that become a scholar or one who studies, and do not be a third of them and become destroyed. أُغْدُ عَالِمًا أَوْ مُتَعَلِّمًا وَلَا تَكُنَّ الثَّالِث فَتَهْلَكْ. This narration is not authentic to the Prophet of Allah ﷺ. Rather, it is mawqufan. Mawqufan means as a statement of a sahabi. So it is authentic to Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu an as his statement, but it is not a statement of the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this narration, that become a scholar or a student and not to be a third, for you become destroyed, this is a narration which is authentic from Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu an as his statement. Then the author rahimahullah mentioned that if you have started to become friends with one who harms you and does not benefit you, and you do not benefit from him, and he does not benefit from you, or there will be no benefit, and he does not help you in seeking knowledge, then kindly cut off being friends with him from the beginning, before that friendship becomes firm. He says, for indeed the affairs, when they become firm, it is hard to put them away or to seize them. And from that which is known on the tongues of the fuqaha, الدفع أسهل من الرفع, that repelling something is easier than raising it. once it has been has become firm. So if you see a person who, when you mix with him and you sit with him, that your religious obligation, your religious affairs, they increase, then be eager upon that person to be your friend. But if you find that a person, when you mix with him and you befriend him, that it makes your religion lesser, or that it affects your religion in a bad way, then be from those who kindly cut off friendship with him, so that he does not have an effect on you in the wrong way. For you find many brothers, they start to practice or they start to gain knowledge, and slowly they befriend people that they should not befriend, and when you advise him to not befriend certain individuals, they say to you, but brother, I'm going to change him inshallah. He may attend 1 or 2 lessons with him, and then you find that the 3rd lesson he's missing and that brother is missing as well, and you find slowly that it had a bad effect on him and he left off knowledge and he started to become and have the same characteristics as his friend that he wanted to change. So it's important that you choose your friendships right and that you mix with the right people. It says if you're in need of mixing with him, someone, then let it be a companion who is righteous and religious and pious and intelligent and has much good and little evil, and one who you can mix with and by way of appeasement, by not dropping your rights and etc. And if you forget, he reminds you, and if you remind, he aids you, and if you're in need of it, he helps you and comforts you, and if some hardships occur, he helps you with patience. So this is the kind of companion that you should have, one who is righteous and religious and pious and intelligent, much good with him and little evil. Allah says, وَاصْبِرْ نَفْسَكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ رَبَّهُمْ بِالْغَدَاةِ وَالْعَشِيِّ يُرِيدُونَ وَجْهَهُ وَلَا تَعْدُ عَيْنَاكَ عَنْهُمْ تُرِيدُ زِينَةَ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَلَا تُطِعْ مَنْ أَغْفَلْنَا قَلْبَهُ عَنْ ذِكْرِنَا وَاتَّبَعَ هَوَاهُ وَكَانَ أَمْرُهُ فُرُطًا. That be patient with those who call upon the Lord in the day and night, يُرِيدُونَ وَجْهَهُ, seeking His face, وَلَا تَعْدُ عَيْنَاكَ عَنْهُمْ, and do not turn away from them, تُرِيدُ زِينَةَ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا, wanting the beauties of this life, of this worldly life. وَلَا تُطِعْ مَنْ أَغْفَلْنَا قَلْبَهُ, and do not obey those who have become heedless, or their heart has become heedless, and ذِكْرِنَا وَاتَّبَعْ هَوَاهُ, from our remembrance, and he follows his hawa, his desires. Similarly, Allah says in the Quran, يا ليتني اتخذت مع الرسول سبيلا يا ويلتى ليتني لم أتخذ فلانا خليلا لقد أضلني عن الذكر بعد إذ جاءني وكان الشيطان للإنسان خذولا. Then on the day a man will say, that woe to me, why I took so and so as a friend, for he didn't misguide me. لقد أضلني عن الذكر بعد إذ جاءني, he misguided me and led me astray from the remembrance that came to me. So it's important for us to choose our friendships right, or our friends right, and not be from those who are easy going to this affair, for they will have an effect on you, and if he is not righteous, it will affect you in the wrong way and turn you away from the knowledge that you seek. Then he says, going into the next chapter, في آدابه مع شيخه, the manners of the student with his teacher, وقدوته, and following him, وما يجب عليه من عظيم حرمته, and that which obligatory upon him from the great rights that he has upon him, وثلاثة عشر نوعا, and then there's 13 different points. Point number 1, that is befitting for the student that he, before seeking knowledge from someone, that he examines and that he does istikhara, seek Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's aid in regards to those who he seeks knowledge from, and the one who he seeks or he wants to seek good manners from. And let that person or the individual be one who is complete in his being suitable to teach, and in reality he is kind and offering his knowledge for the benefit of the people, and his muru'ah is apparent, he does not do things that look down upon him in the public. وَعُرِفَتْ عِفَّتُهُ, and his chastity is known. وَاشْتَهِرَتْ سِيَانَتُهُ, and his preserving his Islamic duties is become well known. And he is from those who are good at teaching and strong in understanding and making others understand. وَلَا يَرْغَبُ الطَّالِبْ فِي زِيَادَةِ الْعِلْمِ مَعَ نَقْصِ فِي وَرْعٍ, and a student should not try to seek knowledge from someone who has much knowledge, but they are not pious, or they are not religious, or they did not have good manners. This point is important, that one tries to seek the right teacher to seek knowledge from, as we mentioned Muhammad Sirin later, because seeking knowledge in reality is a worship. It is an act of worship. And whenever the one who you seek knowledge from is complete in different characteristics of good, such as having knowledge, having good understanding, being able to teach others and being able to make them understand, and also having good manners, and being from those who have piety, then in reality you benefiting from them in this great act of worship is more likely than benefiting from one who may have a lot of knowledge, but he has bad manners, and he is not pious, and he does not piety, and his religious duties are not upheld the right way. So the intent here is that one seeks knowledge from the right individual. Now this is regarding Ahlul Sunnah, for indeed seeking knowledge Ahlul Bid'ah is not permissible. From the innovators, it is not permissible to seek knowledge from them. We're talking about Ahlul Sunnah right now. So it shouldn't be that one comes and says, what about seeking from an innovator who has a lot of knowledge and has good manners and this and that. No, because as it comes from Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, لا تجالس أهل الأهواء فإن مجالستهم ممرضة. Do not sit with the people of desires, for indeed sitting with them sickens your heart. So it's not permissible for us to sit with them and seek knowledge for them, even if they have a lot of knowledge. Then as for the issue of istikhara, doing istikhara, then some of the scholars have mentioned this, that he does istikhara to seek who he seeks knowledge from. And why? Because the one who knows the affairs and knows the individual you're seeking knowledge from, knows him the best, is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So thus one seeks Allah's aid and Allah's help to see if this person is suitable to seek knowledge from. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will guide the individual if his intention is correct. And a student can only completely benefit from his teacher if that teacher has two affairs. One, that he is suitable to teach completely. He is suitable to teach. He is not one who is not suitable. Rather, he is suitable and deserving of teaching. And the second one is that he is eager to benefit those who is learning from, those who are learning from him. The second point is important as well. You find some of the people, they may have knowledge. When it comes to benefiting the people, they sit one day, they sit 2 days with them, and the third day they are missing. Why? Because they don't have the eagerness to spread this knowledge or benefit. So it's important that the teacher you're learning from, one, he has knowledge and is suitable to teach and deserving of teaching, and secondly, that he is someone who is eager to benefit you and sit and teach you. And you find that this is something which is lacking in many people nowadays. They may have knowledge, but they are not eager upon benefiting the people. If someone comes to them and tries to seek benefit from them or knowledge from them, he turns them away with excuse after excuse after excuse. And this is something which is not befitting. For if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless him with knowledge and he has time and he's able to teach, then let him teach the people with that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taught him. It comes from some of the Salafi says that this knowledge is that of religion. فَانْظُرُوا أَمَّنْ تَأْخُذُونَ دِينَكُمْ. So look at who you take your knowledge from. This narration authentic from Muhammad ibn Sirin. Muhammad ibn Sirin, rahimahullah, as reported in the Muqaddimah of Sahih Muslim, the introduction of Sahih Muslim, many other places. He says, and then it should be warned from only seeking benefit from those who are popular or well known, and leaving off those who are not well known. There's a benefit here that Sheikh Abu Amr al-Hajuri mentions, that if he intends by those who are not well known, al-Khamilin, those who are not so well known, then they are from Ahlul Sunnah and of righteousness, and then this is good and correct. But if he intends by this statement, al-Khamilin, the Sufis, then this is not correct. For the Quran, the evidence from the Quran, the Sunnah, and the statements of the Salaf, such as the narration of Ibn Sirin, we mentioned, refutes that point, seeking knowledge from the Sufis and other innovators. The reason why some of them they mention that Ahlul Sunnah or those from Ahlul Sunnah are al-Khamilin mean that they are not known with the general folk. And you'll find that this is well known that sometimes in certain lands, not all lands, but certain lands, you find the Ahlul Sunnah or those who are the teachers from the Ahlul Sunnah in that land are ghuraba. They are not well known. They are strangers to the people. But you find that those who are popular in that land may not be from Ahlul Sunnah. But one should not only should restrict himself to seeking knowledge from those who are popular or well known from Ahlul Sunnah. Rather, he should also take from those who are beneficial from Ahlul Sunnah who are not so well known, but they are obviously known to the people that they are upon good and khair. He says Al-Ghazali mentioned that doing so, not taking from those who are well known, is from kibr. It's from arrogance upon knowledge. And he said he placed this to be foolishness itself. Because he says Al-Hikmah Dalatul Mu'min, that the wisdom is that which directs the believer. He seeks it or he takes it wherever he finds it. As for Al-Ghazali, rahimahullah, then he is well known that he fell into some affairs of Ilm al-Kalam and other than this, and he was refuted for that. And his book Ihya Ulumuddin, as At-Turtushi mentioned, that it should be called Imatatu Ulumuddin, putting to death to the sciences of the religion, due to that which has a weak narration, fabricated narration, and statements where to oppose the legislation. As for him, rahimahullah, before he passed away, they say that he made tawbah from Ilm al-Kalam and other than this, and that he passed away with Sahih al-Bukhari upon his chest, making tawbah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from that which occurred from him. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive him for his mistakes and have mercy upon him. And then he says that he takes the benefit wherever he finds it. And he thanks the one who gave him the benefit. For indeed the student runs away from fearing ignorance the way he runs away from a lion. And he said the one who runs away from a lion, he tries any means to take him away, or to save him from this lion. Wherever maybe he takes all the means. Similarly, the student now should be taking all the means to benefit and gain benefit. And he says, if this one who is not so well known, it is seek from him his blessings, that he will benefit more, that his benefit due to the blessings that he has, it may be that the benefit will be more general. And that you may attain this knowledge more complete from him, and not from those who are well known. And he says, if you would look at the different situations of the Salaf and those who came after them, you will find that they did not benefit most of the time, or they did not become successful in the seeking knowledge, except that their teacher was from those who had a great amount of taqwa. And he was eager upon benefiting the student from that which was apparent. Similarly, if you look at the different books that they wrote, you'll find that the one who was most pious and the most ascetic, that their benefit from their authorships were well known more. Or they were from those who their authorships or their books lasted longer and the people benefited from it more. For as known as Shaykh al-Islam rahimahullah mentioned, مَا كَانِ اللَّهِ دَامَ وَاتَّصَلْ, that the one who does something for the sake of Allah, it will remain and continue. وَمَا كَانَ لِغَيْرِ اللَّهِ, and if it was for other Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, انقطع وانفصل, it will be cut off and it will not continue. It will not be continuous. So it's important that when one looks at these affairs, that piety plays a great affair in these matters of knowledge. It is important to be from those who have or are ascribed as one who is pious. And he says that he should be eager that his teacher should be from those who have much of the legislative knowledge and be aware of them and have awareness of the different legislative sciences. And that he be from those who the different scholars at the time, he mixes with them. And he is trustworthy amongst them. And he should not take from those who take from the books. And he is not known to study with the scholars. He said, Ash-Shafi rahimahullah mentioned that the one who seeks knowledge from the books, he will put to loss the different rulings. And some of them, they used to say that the greatest of trials and tribulations is at-tashayyukh as-sahifa, the one who's learned from the books, the teachers who learn from the books. Now, this point that he mentioned here, rahimahullah, is something which the origin is that yes, one seeks with the scholars and benefits from them. That one seeks knowledge from them, for it is the way to seek knowledge is to seek knowledge from those who Allah has granted them knowledge, to sit at their feet and benefit from them directly. But you find that some of the people nowadays, they look down upon those who are not able to sit with the scholars, maybe directly, due to certain reasons, and they may benefit from books or from different tapes, and you find that they're looked down upon. Yes, the origin is that you sit with the scholars and benefit from them. Whoever is able to do so is that which one must strive to do. And one should have that intention that I will go study with the scholars. But until then, is it said to a brother, do not study, do not read books? Why? Because you won't benefit. No, it's not said. For that reason, we'll mention some statements of Shaykh Al-Uthaymeen rahimahullah. He says that he was asked, what do you advise a student who wants to seek legislative knowledge, but he is far away from the scholars, whilst knowing that he has a few books? From them are the foundational books, and they are summarized books. He says that I advise him that he strives in seeking knowledge and seeks Allah's aid. Then he seeks the help of the people of knowledge. Because seeking knowledge at the feet of the scholar, in front of the scholar, it saves him a lot of time. Instead of him going to different books and reviewing different books and looking at different opinions, and he said that and look at different opinions, this may make the time longer for him to seek knowledge. But he said, I do not say, like the one who says that he is not able to seek knowledge or benefit knowledge except in front of a scholar. He said this is not correct because the reality goes against it. But he said that sitting with a scholar, it shortens the time span for it and it lightens the path for you. And he said, rahimahullah, he said that he was asked about different tapes. He said there's no doubt that these different tapes suffice them from sitting with the people of knowledge if they're not able to attend. But it should be known that attending with the scholars is better and more closer to understanding, and even debating the different affairs with the scholars to understand better. But if he's not able to attend, then this is sufficient for him. Then he said, is it possible that he be from the students of knowledge if they suffice themselves to studying from different tapes? He says, we say yes. If a person strives a lot, as it is possible, as is also possible for him to even become a scholar, seeking knowledge from books. But he said there's a difference between a person seeking knowledge from books and tapes and seeking it in front of the scholars directly. Because seeking it directly from the scholars is more closer to attaining knowledge. Because it is an easier path. You're able to debate different affairs with them, in opposition to the one who listens to the text, or the one who reads, or that listens to the audio of the one who reads. Because he's in need of striving a lot to take the different parts of knowledge and attain it. He says, as for the point of the questioner that, will only listen to different tapes have an effect on a person's beliefs? He said, yes, it can have an effect on the people's beliefs if they listen to the tapes of the people of innovation and they follow it. As for if they listen to the tapes of the scholars who are well known and trusted, then it will not affect their beliefs. Rather, it will increase them in Iman and a firmness and following the correct belief. And he has other points as well regarding this. And similar speech comes from Shaykh Al-Albani and other than them, and Shaykh Al-Muhsin Al-Abbad. And a point that we want to mention is that yes, listen to tapes and books, you may benefit by them. You will benefit by them if you strive and you try to attain that knowledge, although it is best to go seek knowledge with the scholars. Now Shaykh Al-Muhsin Al-Abbad mentioned a good point, that the point that he mentions that one should pay concern to those books that have been reviewed or that have been corrected. Meaning at times you find that the scholars, they give different tapes, and then those tapes are transcribed into a book form, and they are checked and they are reviewed. These books are very beneficial, he mentions. Similarly, he mentions that one should suffice with learning from those scholars who are well known regarding this affair, such as the tapes and books of Shaykh bin Baz, the tapes and books of Shaykh Al-Uthaymeen, and the tapes and books of Shaykh Al-Albani. And those are well known to Ahlul Sunnah. So these are points that are important to mention, that yes, a person, if he learns from the books, he might make many mistakes due to him not studying directly from a scholar. But if he is able to call the scholars and able to keep in contact with them, until Allah makes a way out for him to go seek knowledge at their hands or in front of them, then he continues to benefit and he does not look down upon himself and not gain knowledge. And this is something that it is important to understand. That the one, as some of the mashayikh mentioned regarding this point, man la yudrik kulluh la yatruk julluh, that the one who's not able to attain all of it, or attain that which is attain something of seeking knowledge in front of the scholars, they should not leave off to attain something which is capable of. And that is right now reading the books or benefiting from the different tapes, keeping contact with the scholars, sending them questions, and like this. So a person should benefit and strive and ask Allah to make it easy for him to seek knowledge at their feet. But if he is not able to do so, until then he benefits from that which he is able to do so from the books and different means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made present for us at this time. So with this, inshallah, we'll stop and continue next week. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.